Hey everybody, welcome back to another Judgment commentary, but today I'm going to be checking out Nisemonogatari, the next part in the Monogatari series. But of course, last time I finished up the Kizumonogatari series of films, and I apologize for it taking so long for me to get around to Nisemonogatari, but I've been busy with work and a little bit under the weather, but I'm better now, and I'm ready to check it out after a brief hiatus. Once again, I apologize, but when it comes to Kizumonogatari, those three movies were friggin' fantastic. Just super good, easily the most engaging and enjoyable parts of Monogatari that I've seen so far. Of course, I did greatly enjoy Bakemonogatari as well, but there was something about the Kizumonogatari movies that just felt different. Anyway, in the last one, Araragi ran into a bit of a problem, because you see, everything was going fine. Everybody was happy, he had gotten all of Kishot's limbs back, and everything was right with the world. All the way up until he walks in on her, devouring guillotine cutter. Just straight up eating him alive. Or at least, I assume he was alive when she started eating him. This, of course, sends him into a downward spiral, realizing that that man's death is on his hands, and that if he continues to let Kishot live, many more will die as well. Thus, he resolves that he has to kill her, through the help of, Tsubasa, of course. She helps him out and tells him that he's the only one who can put her down. But as it turns out, all of what Kishot was doing with Araragi was one big ploy, because you see, from the beginning, she wanted Araragi to kill her because she wanted to die this whole time. But when she had faced death in that subway and Araragi showed up, she couldn't handle it. She was gripped by fear and wanted to take one last chance to live. But after Araragi saved her, she regretted it and realized that she just went into the same position that she had been in the past when she turned that other guy into a vampire, and then he killed himself. Funnily enough, even her eating guillotine cutter was part of her plan, because apparently, according to you guys, there was a short side story told from Kishot's perspective for the movies, and in that, when Guillotine Cutter showed up, he actually didn't think he could win. He showed up knowing that he would lose, but once Kishot informed him that she had always intended to die, he decided to help her out, and he offered up his own life, let himself be eaten so that Araragi would kill her. That guy was frickin' dedicated. But of course, even after Araragi and Kishot threw down in one of the most over-the-top and gruesome fight sequences ever, he still couldn't go through with it. He sucked out most of her blood and left her in a weakened state, but he wouldn't finish her off. Oshino offered him a different way out, a way for both of them to be still alive, but really sad. And as we know about Araragi, the guy doesn't take compromises when it comes to killing people. If he can make it out with everybody alive, you know that's the option he's going to take. Thus, setting them up for where they were in Bakemonogatari, with both of them alive, but incredibly depressed, and having to, live in a symbiosis with one another for the rest of time. Truly a tragic vampiric tale. But now, on to Nisemonogatari. This was the series that was actually made next following Bakemonogatari and not Kizu, but they were supposed to make Kizu first. There was just, the production issue, so they just skipped over it and made this instead. So here's what we're going to check out now, and when it comes to what I've heard about Nisemonogatari, don't know much other than that there's apparently some noticeable fan service in it. Apparently. I have no idea in what context it is, but my knowledge of Bake was, that it had fan service in it. There was technically some fan service in Bake, but most of it was there to serve a narrative or thematical purpose. So maybe I'll get a little bit of that in this as well, or maybe it'll just be pure fan service for the sake of fan service, and that's rarely a good thing. But anyway, y'all have waited way more than long enough for this, so let us begin with episode 1. Ooh, is that an egg? What? The episode previews only stream online? Well, an interesting way to begin Nisemonogatari, continuing right with the momentum of Bakemonogatari. It makes sense that this is much more in line with Bake, given that this was the one that they made next after it. it's just continuing right from there. Can you imagine just turning Nise on without having seen Bake first? You'd have no idea what's going on. Which is fine, because it's supposed to be a continuing series, it's just an observation of mine. But that beginning, apparently Senjugahara has kidnapped Araragi in order to protect him from something. And she's really messing with him there. Teasing him, taunting him with water, telling him that he can only get it if he licks off her dang finger. Some pretty inline stuff with Senjugahara, you know? You can't really tell what she's gonna be doing next. Then of course we had the Mayoi snail herself making a return appearance with the same kind of antics and discussions that always happen when she's around. I spoke my piece plenty in Bake about the kind of stuff that she and Araragi get into and how, it's weird, but, you know, I've just accepted it at this point. You just gotta roll with the punches, go along for the ride. But there was definitely some interesting dialogue regarding, you know, keeping secrets from family, and that if you tell them, they just become, you know, intertwined with the problems, that you put some of that on them, technically, but since they are family, they would want to help if you presented them with your problems. It's not necessarily courageous to hold them all in for yourself and not let them help you. It certainly isn't. And besides, telling them that he was once a vampire and then got turned back to being 95% human isn't necessarily a current problem of his anyway. That's something that's already been resolved, so I guess it would just be getting it off his chest and bringing them into the light on the whole situation. But now the thing is, this is obviously tied to bees somehow. I mean, the parent of the title of the episode is Karen B, Karen being his sister, which does intrigue me that they're finally going to shift focus to one of his sisters, because they'd always been in the background throughout Bake, but I guess now they're going to take more of the center stage. But what does that have to do with bees? Because there was a mention of bees with her saying, you know, float like a butterfly, sting like a butterfly, as opposed to saying the right thing with bee, but I'm not sure how it connects just yet. There was expressed concern of his sister that he would grow up and leave them all behind, that he wouldn't spend time with them anymore, so that's probably, you know, going to be a part of the main conflict. Probably. But yeah, gotta say, they did not skip a beat in terms of how this episode was paced. I mean, it just continued right along with the same zany antics that Bakemonogatari had in most of its episodes. But word on the street is that Nisemonogatari is one of the lesser enjoyed of the Monogatari series. I think that's what I've heard. Like, people have had some complaints about it, but I don't know much of them too distinctly. I'll just have to wait and see for myself how I feel about it. But this one definitely presented some interesting themes that I'm going to have to think more about before we get to the next one. Should be interesting. So for now, guess that's it guys, but thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed, subscribe to be updated on more. Let me know what you thought of the episode. If there's any insights you would like to enlighten me of, that would be great. Always like to receive those. I've gotten plenty of great comments that have informed me on greater complexities of the narrative that I glance over on occasion. So yeah, thanks for that. But next time, gonna be episode 2. Gonna try to have that one out tomorrow. Can't see anything getting in the way of that unless I start to feel bad again, but probably not. In any case, it's good to be back in the Monogatari series. Can't wait to see what else this one has in store. But till we meet again, I will see you guys all later.